Okay, let's start with the Belarus plane incident. So I'm sure most of you are aware this plane was going from, if I'm not mistaken, from Greece to Lithuania, and on it there was like a famous Belarusian activist, I guess anti-government activist, and they brought the plane down. And Belarus brought the plane down while it was above its air zone, saying that
Yeah,
you, sorry, airspace, saying that there is a bomb threat and all that. So let's just first go over the latest as it concerns like the news. So the latest that's kind of happening is that Russia is now telling French flights and other European flights that no, you must fly over the Belarus airspace if you want to land in Russia. Is that what the Russians are saying?
they banned two airlines from landing in Moscow when they said they're not gonna travel to I think Air France and Air Austria, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. And they're saying basically you have to go over Belarus, and I mean that's an interesting thing, the relationship between Belarus and Russia, because Belarus is pretty much, you could argue Belarus is the rem, like the remaining, it's the last remainder of the Soviet Union, basically. It's the last uh, republic of the Soviet Union. So, and uh, they have this love-hate relationship because Russian newspapers are far more open to criticize. It's a far more open society, Russia, than Belarus, and they criticize Lukashenko, the dictator in Belarus, a lot. So they have a love and hate because he expects Putin to, you know, silent everybody who criticizes him. And he actually, there was this attempt by Belarus, and I highly recommend everybody for details watch. There's this great channel, Caspian Report, where the guy covers geopolitics. Shirwan, his name is Shirwan something, I forget, but he covers the specific geopolitical issues, and it's very interesting channels, high quality videos. Hopefully, we are hoping to do content like that in the future. And Caspian Report does a great video about how Belarus tries to annex Russia. I think in early noughts or late 1990s,
What?
basically, yeah, Lukashenko is crazy. Like, yeah, let's do a union and I'll be the head. Huh? Okay, yeah, all right. Like,
But wait,
and
and the same guy who's the president of Belarus now was the president back then?
yeah, he's been a dictator he's been there since
Wow.
like the fall of Soviet.
Damn.
I think he was even before this fall of Soviet Union. He was the governor of there or something. So he's been there for long. He's a good friend of, by the way, Chavez, Ahmadinejad. He
Oh,
was part
really?
of their, yeah. Him and Ahmadinejad were at the funeral of Chavez. I think they held the casket or something. They were one of the major guys there
Jesus
with the gang.
Christ.
They were the anti-US gang at the time. It was the height of Ahmadinejad's global popularity.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's
One
a very interesting,
anti-US gang you might not want to really associate yourself with.
like,
We like the end
yeah,
result, but not the means. I don't think we
yeah,
agree. Yeah.
guys, I feel like you're not really doing this in the right
Yeah.
way. So
Kind of
sorry.
on the same page, but not really.
Yeah, just agree on very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, so yeah, it's a very interesting that Russia really stepped up for. But
Yeah.
another, yeah, I mean, you should go ahead and
Should I give my take and then maybe you
yeah,
can
yeah,
react to that? Yeah,
and
if
then go. Yeah.
there's no more specific news. So pretty much, okay, I will start with this. So I read news stories all day and I'm rarely shocked. So this one I was shocked, okay? I was like, "Oh shit, really? They did this?" And Glenn Greenwald wrote an article saying that, this was bad, dangerous, blah blah blah, but not unprecedented. Everybody should remember that in 2013, I think it was, that Obama administration brought down Bolivia's president's airplane just to make sure that Edward Snowden is not on it. So totally
Uh,
agree.
sorry, Julian Assange.
No, Edward Snowden.
No,
I'm
oh,
100% sure
really?
about this. Yeah, yeah.
I thought, but then you had another incident, I think, with maybe that was, sorry, the Ecuadorian. So you had Wasn't there another incident with the Ecuadorian thingy with the Julian Assange? They feared they gonna. Oh, sorry, no,
No,
that
I
was
mean that
it.
was in the
They feared.
embassy.
So yeah, they feared he's gonna escape from the embassy to the
Oh,
airport in
yeah.
a car. Or something. Sorry, so
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Yeah, no, this one was when
Ne-
pretty much Snowden went from Hong Kong to Russia and he was stranded in the Moscow transit. And then I believe the French and according to Glenn Greenwald's article, he's written all there, the French and the Spanish prevented more or less from kind of flying over their airspace and then had to go back to Austria. And that's where he landed for 12 hours and they checked this whole plane. I mean, apparently, yeah, he was stranded in Austria for 12 hours and they didn't let him to fly back to Bolivia. So all of that, I agree with Glenn Greenwald. I mean, one of my takes is that I was a bit shocked. I mean, did find it like extra surprising a bit, but that could perhaps just be like sometimes you imagine yourself, you can be like, hey, I could have easily been on that plane, and that could have been like really like, just sometimes in your head you put yourself in a situation, whether if it's realistic or not. But I feel like that's kind of what happened to me. But then Glenn says that these two incidents are really the same. It's kind of like his third paragraph, his third to last paragraph. But then he says there are two things that are different, if anything. One is that at least the Belarus president and his administration knew for sure that there was this guy on the plane, whereas the Americans were just guessing that, hey, maybe Snowden is on that plane. And secondly, they're like, that wasn't. In the Belarus case, it was just a normal like passenger airline, whereas that was a president plane, so there's all kinds of sovereignty issue and all that. But I mean, I think there is kind of a third difference is which, like you pointed out, this was a passenger plane, so there were hundreds of, maybe not hundreds, but I'm guessing just about 100 other people on the plane whose lives could have also potentially been put in danger. I know a plane can go up and down a bunch of times, but just calling a fake bomb threat, or let's say there were some health issues with some of the passengers on the plane. I mean, I did find it in a way even more irresponsible or dangerous just because of that, because some things could have gone wrong. I'm just making things up, and I'm not saying that there's a high percentage of this, but let's say there was actually a real criminal or something on that plane, let's say, and he thought that this was all about him or her, for instance, and there was some kind of altercation there. So, I mean, I
I
do
mean,
think
look,
there's a difference here, but yeah, that's kind of my take. So, I'm not saying
I
like,
mean,
oh, wow, it could have like endangered all these, but there were
you
a lot of
are,
other
wow,
people on this
no,
plane.
you are. I know, but you're really stretching it. I mean, with the
Yeah.
other criminal, that's like
No,
Hollywood
I
thing.
know I'm saying,
But
okay, but
yeah,
that's just one
okay,
scenario. There could be like, sick people on the plane, like someone with a
sure.
heart condition or stuff like that. And, different things. And apparently they did also have a fighter jet to go up. It's unclear if a fighter jet went to accompany it or not the
Okay.
plane.
Uh,
And also calling a fake bomb threat, right? That's also quite irresponsible and
all of
dangerous.
it.
I'm not saying other governments don't do anything dangerous, but all of these combined
Sure.
together in this situation.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's risky, and if you're a passenger on that flight, you feel awful, and your life is put in danger for no reason. I mean, even if you're a dissident, you shouldn't be treated
Yeah, yeah,
that way.
exactly.
But I think Glenn Greenwald is focusing on the way it's covered as this unprecedented act,
No,
which is leading
100%
to,
agree. That's why I said
which is
small disagreement
wait, wait,
with, yeah.
which is
Good.
leading to European countries talking about sanctions, and the German foreign minister Heiko Maas coming out saying this is unacceptable, blah blah blah. Like the hypocrisy in the coverage, the extent of coverage, and I don't think anybody's really like the safety angle. The safety angle, I told you this, I think, in our production talk as well. The safety angle is the same for the Bolivian plane. I mean, sure, there are less people there,
Yeah.
but you could argue there are officials, there are diplomats, there's like legal issues, blah blah blah. So I'm not, I'm just saying, yeah, sure, it's a safety wise and even dissident wise, it's not a nice thing for a dissident, even if that dissident is a, let's say, is a like a sort of a spy or funded by somebody in America. So it's not nice. It's just the hypocrisy is and they pushed, and I would say that uh, like if you also read history, uh, America and the people who make international laws, or the people who make laws in any country, usually this is what happens before a civil war. The people who make laws start breaking the laws themselves, so they can't even abide by the standards they have written themselves or they have put themselves. And then it is completely natural that everybody else, especially the people who are in opposition to the people who are writing the laws of these words, they're not going to follow those laws, and the whole world is going to trend towards chaos. So I think you can say that, when America starts doing something like that, or when they held Glenn Greenwald's boyfriend, David something, in London, I think they held him and for questioning and stuff. When you start breaking international like that, then other people say, okay, see, maybe we can do this. So yeah, I understand it's not a usual tactic of dictators, and it happens rarely, but it's not unprecedented. And I don't think I mean, they abuse. It's a very negative development in Belarusian path towards development. But European and American media sadly abuses that and politicizes that in a way that is not constructive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I 100% agree with that, and 100% agree with what Glenn Greenwald said, and I don't think it like contradicts kind of the point that I was making. Yeah, I do agree that the Europeans and Americans are hypocrites if they come out and the way that they act. Oh, this has never happened. Indeed, it happened like just 7 years ago, and I'm sure there have been previous incidents too. I tried to look. It's unprecedented. Is it really unprecedented that they brought down like presidents' planes or other people's planes? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened even before that. But yeah, I mean, the first part, I admit, it like shocked me a bit, perhaps because I live in Europe and I take these little flights all the time. So that could have been easily a personal one. I remember a friend of mine had said something similarly about a terrorist attack once. And like the example that he gave said, I could have been there, blah, blah, blah. And I started laughing. So even when I was thinking of that example, I was like, hey, I made fun of my friend back then, but I thought I had a little bit more of a leg to stand on. But yeah, and I only disagreed with Glenn Greenwald's last part where he says these two are identical except these things. I mean, no, you can say they're also everything he said is correct, but they're also the fact that they had all these people on the plane is also just another dynamic that is just add to the story and consider. But it doesn't change at all his main argument and main point. Completely agree that it's not unprecedented and that the Europeans and Americans are hypocrites and they had done the exact same thing.
Sure. No, but I mean, I'm just saying that uh, I think he acknowledges the difference in
No,
that
no, no.
in
He
that scene.
literally has a paragraph, the third paragraph last. He
No,
said
it's a
there are two.
pattern. No, I know you're focusing on the fact that the number of people changes, but he also acknowledges the fact that it's a passenger airline, and the other one was
Yeah.
a sort of a official
But he
government
acknowledged it to make a different point, meaning that the other
point.
one
So,
was even more dangerous, or even more, not more dangerous, he says, even has
yeah,
more
he
legal
was,
issues because
yeah.
sovereignty rights and all that associated with the president and his plane.
I do think that one was more. I found that one more shocking than this one, to
Oh,
be
really?
honest.
No, I mean,
Yeah, because passenger like it's a private company. You just yeah, we have
yeah.
to. Yeah, it's dangerous. Come down for a second. Just please, just
And
come.
but I
Come.
love their excuse. Hamas is like, yeah, we're busy here. What do you want us to do with your goddamn plane? We didn't even know Belarus was a country. Where's Belarus? Okay. Is
Hey,
that a
man, Belarus
neighborhood in New York?
actually,
Like, what are we talking about?
actually, Belarus is a big supporter of Palestinian cause.
Okay.
So don't be surprised.
Oh,
The
all right. So
opposition
I hold my hand up.
US.
I'm the ignorant here. I'm sorry. So I
No,
guess,
no, but yeah, a strange bedfellows. But,
yeah.
but yeah, Hamas is attacking them.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, IDF. 1 second. We got some
Guys,
important
we
things.
have a great plan. We're gonna
Okay.
attack you. We're gonna attack you, Slovakia.
Yeah.
You know those
Okay,
guys.
turn all the rockets west immediately.
Forget Israel.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
God. But
Bullshit
yeah,
excuse.
so,
But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add on this story.
no, no, fair enough. No,
Uh,
I think that's a
should
good
we
coverage of that.
move up move to Kyle Kalinske? Okay, so I saw this first.
Sure, yeah.
The Vanguard covered these two parts that I'm going to. One is about Kyle talks about Destiny, and the other one is about the third party candidate. So shout out to them. I saw clips from Kyle's episode there, and I also agreed largely with their takes. Maybe we'll get into them when it's relevant. But yeah,